Scouting can make a difference. Support your local Boy Scout Council. Today more than ever, boy, do we need scouting.
Good afternoon. I'm Chad Paul, and I'm proud to be chair of the 30th Annual Investment in Character Campaign event. We're a little different this year with COVID. We're coming to you from Lake Catherine here at Camp Bowers, and looking forward to a great event tonight. I thought this a fitting place to share our scouting story because it is here in camp where so many of our scouting's indelible memories are forged. I'm sorry that circumstances prohibit us from gathering in person this year, but I am most grateful for your participation and continued support of the Cape Fear Council. As you know, the 12th point of the Scout Law is that a Scout is reverent. Would you please join me in a prayer before we begin? The Philmont Grace. For food, for raiment, for life, for opportunity, for friendship and fellowship, we thank Thee, O Lord. Amen.
Now I'll say a word to you who are parents. We try to make these boys and girls into what we call the 3 H's. That is, happy, healthy, helpful citizens. And we teach them character so that they may succeed in life.
For over 100 years, the Cape Fear Council has used nature's classroom as a tool in developing leadership and character in our young people. I'm extremely proud of how quickly the Cape Fear Council has adapted to the current circumstances associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the challenges, our units found safe and creative ways to continue their programs and afford our scouts opportunities to explore and develop. Some 2020 highlights include 84 scouts achieved the rank of Eagle Scout despite the added challenge of the pandemic. We developed a very successful hybrid summer camp program where scouts were able to work on merit badges with camp staff in a virtual setting during the week and still come to camp on the weekends for the day to swim, shoot, boat, and more. I'm proud to report that through our safety protocols, we successfully delivered that program without a single reported case of COVID. We developed a series of popular online merit badge colleges. Through those programs, we served over 3,000 scouts from 40 separate states and 4 foreign countries. I remain inspired by the resiliency of scouting and heartened by the continued demand for what scouting has to offer by our local families.
Former scouts have walked on the moon, become president, and won the Heisman Trophy. Today they serve as cabinet secretaries, as my press secretary, and in the Congress. You can be certain that today's scouts will help shape America.
We are now going to hear from Brad Allen, an NFL referee and native of Lumberton.
So I'm glad to be here with you tonight, and frankly, I'm sorry we can't be here together in person. Anytime you're talking about investing in character, you know, that kind of interaction needs to be done in person. But the most important thing is for you to be safe, your families to be safe, and for us to navigate this sort of unprecedented time that we're living in together safely. So I think you know this already, but my name is Brad Allen, and I have lived in southeastern North Carolina my entire life. And I guess one of the things that is sort of notable about me is that I am a referee and crew chief in the National Football League. There are 17 of us who wear the white hat in the league, and that makes it kind of a unique thing. And for someone living in southeastern North Carolina, I hope that it makes me special. It's certainly noteworthy. But I'm honored to be able to be here to help us kick off this special initiative, this special drive for this year. And frankly, because we can't do Q&A, I just wanted to answer some of the questions that I get asked most often. And the first one of those is, what does it take to become a referee in the National Football League? And frankly, I think that you have to be able. And there are a lot of able, A-B-L-E words that you can use to describe being able. Just like we want our young people who are in our scouting programs to be able, any person who endeavors, whether they be a man or a woman, to be an official in the NFL must be able. So let me just outline a couple of those able words for you. First of all, you have to be durable. Durable. Because any goal that you have in life may not come as quickly as you want it to. So you have to be in a spirit of perseverance. I started officiating Little League Baseball in Robeson County, North Carolina when I was 15 years old in 1986. Do the math. You can figure out what age I am if that matters to you. It doesn't really matter to me. But the point is, from the time that I started doing Little League Baseball for $8 a game, which was big money to me in 1986, as a 15-year-old, it took me some 30 years to go through the recreation ranks, middle school, junior high, high school, Division II, the ACC, and then to the NFL. So you have to be durable. You have to set your goals and be willing to follow through on those. That's what scouting is about. Scouting is about learning intrinsic lessons that help us over the course of a long period of time with patience to be durable. So that's the first able word. The second I would say is you have to be comfortable. What do you mean by comfortable? I mean you have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to know that the moral code by which you live, your ethics, and that's also a part of the Scout Code, is okay. Officiating, like anything else that is worth having in life, is a competition. You can't change who you are in order to achieve some goal that could be fleeting. Be who you are. Be comfortable. I use the word comfortable by not saying cocky, not being arrogant, but be comfortable in who you are as a young person. Because if you're comfortable and you know what your morals and your ethics are, it'll help you go forward in whatever mission you may be trying to achieve. You also, as a game official, have to be approachable. And as I was reviewing the 8 counties that make up the Cape Fear Council, I went back to the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s when I was officiating high school sports in our area. And I thought about the word approachable because sometimes, as a game official, people are going to approach you, whether you like that or not. I was at East Columbus High School one time, Lake Waccamaw. Did a JV football game. As we're going off the field, some man walked up and said, "Hey, you couldn't call hogs." Okay, well, so I could have done one of two things. I could have gone back at him and made some smart remark or escalated the confrontation, but I didn't. I've always remembered that because, frankly, I think that's a pretty good line. But nevertheless, when everyone else is losing their cool, when everyone else is emotional, you must be approachable. A second one that has just popped into my head. Many years ago, I was umpiring an American Legion baseball game at Legion Stadium in New Hanover County. And again, we're leaving. This is where fans, what's fans short for, by the way? Fanatic. So some lady is walking with us as the umpires are leaving the field. And literally this lady said to me, "Hey, young man." And I turned. Don't ever turn to them. Don't give in. Don't let them know you can hear what they're saying to you. But anyway, she said, "Hey, young man." And I turned and she said, "My son's in prison. And I'm more proud of him than your mama is of you." So, okay, you have to be approachable, but you also have to be in a position to let some of that stuff go. All right? So be approachable. Don't be aggressive. Be sure that you're in a position to take the moral high ground. Another able word is as you're going through whatever endeavor in life, but for me, in becoming an NFL official, is the word memorable. You want to be memorable in that you leave a mark on someone's life. When you are gone, how will they think of you? Now, along the way, there'll be some memories that you'll make that will be absolutely awesome. 2012, I was chosen to be the referee for the Rose Bowl game when I was in the ACC. And you walk out there to the granddaddy of them all, and there's all this pomp and circumstance. And literally, as I looked around, over 100,000 people there, I could see the faces of people who had helped me to get there. My parents, my grandparents, for me, my great-grandparents, officiating mentors, people in the community, scout leaders, people who had made sure that I had the right basis to get to where I needed to go. That's memorable. That's important. So I hope that as our young people are going forward and scouting and in their lives with the values that you are instilling, that they'll have many, many wonderful memories. It cannot be a coincidence that I got the call to go to the National Football League on March the 21st, 2014. March the 21st is my grandmother's birthday. So Dean Blandino called me up and said, hey, come work for me in the National Football League. Guess who I called first? It was someone who was memorable, and it was her birthday, so it was really, really cool. My grandmother, who lived in Bladen County her entire life, is not with us anymore, but she's part of the memorable journey, one of those able words that has made my journey very, very special. I think you also have to be dependable. If you're going to be a successful scout, other people have to be able to rely upon you. Let me tell you something. When you get to the National Football League as an official, nobody else is going to care that you're a first-year official. We call them rookies. When you're a rookie, nobody cares that you just worked a college game in your last game. You are expected to make your calls and to take care of the members of your crew. You have to be dependable. You can't be a person who works with blinders on in just your little box. Well, I'm afraid to look over there because I might see something that doesn't fall within my purview. You might be able to help your teammate, your crewmate, your troop mate, whatever the case may be. You have to be dependable if you're going to be an effective citizen and if you're going to be an effective official in the National Football League. You also have to be coachable. And I had many great mentors along the way in southeastern North Carolina. But when I got to the NFL, I literally was given someone whose nickname was Coach. Coach Tom Hill, who's from New Jersey, whose accent is so much different than mine, you can't even compare them. But he called me up, and here's exactly what Coach said. Hey, kid, welcome to the NFL. I swear that's exactly how the man speaks. Just know, you don't know everything, be coachable. And he hung up the phone. And I thought to myself, wow, isn't this an interesting individual I'm going to spend the next 20 weeks with? But he was right. Just because you have achieved a certain level of success doesn't mean you know everything. I promise you, every single time I go out on the field, I learn something I can work to be better at. And finally, the last able word that I would have for us tonight is we have to be commendable in the walk that we walk. You may remember Rear Admiral William H. McCraven had a great speech called Make Your Bed. This was a gentleman who was 37 years as a Navy SEAL, a 4-star admiral, and what he said was, every single day you are commendable if you do something that is positive. And the first thing he did every single day was to make his bed, because that's an accomplishment you can check off. That's something you can show, I did today, to be commendable. The work of the Scouts is incredibly commendable. We're kicking off this campaign this year in a new and different way. But we as a community, must invest in character so that our young people will be able to succeed. Whether they become a doctor or a lawyer, a police officer, or a referee in the National Football League. Let's give them, through our generosity, the ability to be able to succeed. I wish you all the best, health, wellness, and safety. If you see me on TV, please don't boo. Take care.
The greatest thrill that I had growing up in Mobile, Alabama, I had some great thrills, but one of them is being a Boy Scout. And I used to know my Scout laws. On my honor, I do my duty to guard my country, to obey the Scout laws, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong and mentally awake and morally straight. But I had fun being a Boy Scout. I had fun being a Boy Scout. You know, I just, every Tuesday or Wednesday, I used to go to the meetings and sit there with my Scout master, and he and I just used to talk. But That was one of the greatest thrills I had, was growing up in Mobile, Alabama, being a Boy Scout.
The funnest part about Camp McNeil is shooting the bow and arrows and slingshotting.
I like making s'mores, I like sleeping in tents, and I like running around in the forest.
Being an Eagle Scout is all about the community. It was a lot of work to get to where I was. All the leadership I learned along the way and all the merit badges that I learned, the different skills, it all built up to this project that I did. And once I finished that, the sense of accomplishment that I feel from doing my project and from being able to go back to my project site and see the work that I did is just really special to me. And so wearing an Eagle Scout badge on my uniform really symbolizes the community, and anybody else that I see with that Eagle Scout badge, it tells me that they put in a lot of work and that they are really committed to who they are in the way that I feel like I am with Scouting.
America needs Scouting to build character and leadership skills in boys and young men. Rarely has a lack of character and lack of courageous, bold, visionary leadership been so apparent in America, but not in Scouting. We are the country's largest and best leadership and character-building factory. When someone cynically refers to a person of character with the phrase, well, he's a Boy Scout, it is in fact the highest compliment. It is who we are. Finally, America needs Scouting because it needs young men for whom God is central in their lives. For Scouts of all ages, duty to God is not a merit badge or a piece of metal with colored cloth. It is the foundation stone of who and what we are. Without duty to God, there is no Scout oath, no Scout movement. A boy who kneels before his God will stand tall as a man.
Like so many others, our local Scouting program has been hit hard by the pandemic. Our revenues last year were down 35% compared to the year before as a result of interrupted programming and fundraising. Throughout our nation's proud history, it has been in times of the greatest adversity when its citizens have stepped forward to meet the needs of its communities. I choose to support Scouting because I believe in the values of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. I choose to support Scouting because Scouting teaches character, leadership, independence, and self-reliance. I choose to support Scouting because it changed my life and believe it will continue to change the lives of generations to come. I ask each of you today to join me in support of Scouting and the Cape Fear Council, because if Scouting isn't here to develop those character traits, who will? These are challenging times, and we need your support now more than ever. Remember, 100% of your gift stays right here to support local Scouting in the Cape Fear Council. No portion of any gift proceeds are sent to the national organization. As we wrap up our program, I'd ask you to please take a moment right now to make your pledge that our local Scouting program can continue to change lives. Please accept my sincere appreciation and the appreciation of the thousands of young people we serve in Southeast North Carolina.
A Scout is trustworthy,
Loyal,
helpful,
Friendly,
Courteous, kind,
obedient,
cheerful,
Thrifty,
brave,
clean, reverent.
On my honor,
I'll do my best
to do my duty,
To God and my country.
to obey the Scout Law,
to help other people at all times,
to keep myself physically strong,
Mentally awake.
and morally straight.